This is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, episode 163. Conflict is a normal and natural part of your happily ever after, by Erin and April Jacob with Gottman.com. Welcome, relationship optimizers. I'm Joss Marie, your host and personal narrator, and this is the podcast where I read to you every Monday through Friday from some of the best relationship blogs out there. The creator and producer of this show, Justin Mullock, hand selects each post, and then I have the honor of narrating them to you with permission from the authors. First, I'd just like to apologize in advance if I sound a bit congested. Talon and I are both sick with colds. This is actually my first cold of the season, but poor Talon is on to number 4. Yikes. Is it summer yet? On a brighter note, today I have a marriage post from Gottman.com all about the normalcy of conflict in a relationship. If you'd like to make a request for a particular relationship topic to be covered here on the show, you can contact us right at oldpodcast.com or our Facebook page. To join, just search for Optimal Living Daily in Facebook and request access. Or the shortcut link is oldpodcast.com/Facebook. And with that, let's hear today's marriage post and start optimizing your life. Conflict is a normal and natural part of your happily ever after, by Erin and April Jacob with Gottman.com. When Sarah and Ryan were newly married, they experienced a handful of frustrating conversations that evolved into emotionally charged disputes. Sarah was devastated. She thought that their relationship was in a bad place and that they were, perhaps even worse, doomed for divorce. That's because Sarah loathes conflict, really, really loathes it. And so whenever things aren't going perfectly well in her relationship, she's a total mess. Her husband, Ryan, has always been okay with conflict and doesn't feel a need for things to be resolved immediately. While Sarah is the type of person who never wants to go to bed angry, Ryan is a firm believer that going to bed angry is sometimes the best option. You see, for Sarah, conflict breeds stress and the false assumption that her marriage is terrible, irreparable, and that it might end in divorce, even though she and her husband are both deeply committed to making it work and staying together through thick and thin. What Sarah didn't realize as a young love-struck newlywed is an important lesson for all married couples. Conflict in marriage is inevitable. One more time. Conflict in marriage is inevitable. In fact, not only is conflict in marriage inevitable, but it's also perfectly normal. It's a part of life. Why do you think wedding vows include phrases like, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, and through thick and thin? They include those phrases because A, the people who wrote those vows are pretty smart and have experienced this thing we call marriage, and B, conflict is an unavoidable part of life and therefore an unavoidable and even important part of your happily ever after, even though it's not something you see in the movies. In reality, Sarah was in error over the years by believing that if there was conflict in her marriage, she couldn't be truly happy, since conflict was a clear sign that her marriage was doomed to fail. Sarah was in error by thinking that a happy marriage was synonymous with the absolute extinguishment of all conflict. So not true. Sarah was wrong, way wrong. And perhaps that's because Sarah and Ryan had limited conflict management skills and sometimes even used the 4 horsemen. To Sarah and others like her, it's time to realize this truth taught by Dr. Gottman. It's a myth that if you solve your problems, you'll automatically be happy. We need to teach couples that they'll never solve most of their problems. Really? Sarah and Ryan will never solve most of their problems? Yup, that's right. Thankfully, the key to a happy marriage isn't to eliminate all conflict. Mind-blowing. Dr. Gottman says, although we tend to equate a low level of conflict with happiness, A lasting relationship results from a couple's ability to manage the conflicts that are inevitable in any relationship. Did you catch that? Being happy now and living happily ever after comes from a couple's ability to manage the conflicts that are inevitable in any relationship. Conflict is inevitable, no matter who you marry. Please don't fall for the fallacy that you wouldn't be dealing with whatever conflict if you had married Bob, because Bob would have come with his own set of problems. You know it's true. Because of this, gaining the skills and developing the ability to successfully navigate conflict becomes critical in creating happiness and harmony in your marriage. So, what are those specific skills that will lead to happiness now and to your happily ever after in the future? Dr. Gottman has provided the following 6 skills to help couples learn how to manage conflict and live happily ever after. 1. Practice physiological self-soothing. Take a time out when conflict arises. Go for a walk, take a bath, read a book, do whatever it takes to breathe, calm down, and return to a better frame of mind. How long is the perfect amount of time for a break? According to Dr. Gottman, it's 20 minutes. 2. Use a softened startup. It's true that conversations usually end on the same note they began. So, start softly. Don't blame. Use I statements. Describe what is happening and be polite. 3. Repair and de-escalate. Use scripted phrases like, "Let me try again." "I don't feel like you are understanding me right now." And, "I'm sorry," to help de-escalate and begin making repair attempts. 4. Listen to your partner's underlying feelings and dreams. Perpetual gridlocked problems between you and your partner often conceal underlying feelings and dreams that aren't getting communicated. So, start by contemplating what your dreams are and how you can communicate them more clearly to your partner. 2nd, become a better listener and seek to discover your partner's deepest feelings and dreams. The purpose of this skill is to truly understand who your partner is deep down inside in order to accept influence and compromise together. 5. Accept influence. Recognize that your partner has good ideas and important opinions. Shocker. Your way isn't always the best way or the right way. Show respect for those opinions and find something you can learn from your partner. Take the questionnaire linked in this post to see where you most need to improve when it comes to accepting influence. 6. Compromise. Compromise is an art. What's Dr. Gottman's advice? Compromise never feels perfect. Everyone gains something and everyone loses something. The important thing is feeling understood, respected, and honored in your dreams. So, work together with your partner to find common ground and compromise that will leave you both feeling valued, respected, and supported. If you practice these 6 skills from Dr. Gottman and learn to manage conflict in positive and healthy ways, then happily ever after can be yours today and every day as you recognize conflict for what it is, an opportunity to learn, grow, progress, and live a full and meaningful life now. You just listened to the post titled, "Conflict is a Normal and Natural Part of Your Happily Ever After" by Aaron and April Jacob with Gottman.com. Aaron and April Jacob are the founders of Nurturing Marriage, a website dedicated to strengthening marriages. They enjoy playing football with their 3 little boys, watching sports, and going out for frozen yogurt. So glad we could share their content with you today. And again, if you have a specific topic, author, or blog that you'd like me to cover here on the show, you can contact us right at oldpodcast.com or simply join our Facebook group and let us know that way. To join, just search for Optimal Living Daily in Facebook and request access. Or the shortcut link is oldpodcast.com/Facebook. And that's a wrap for episode 163. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me today as I'm not feeling the best. And I hope to see you again tomorrow and Friday for a mini-series by Leo Babauta, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.